Hello everyone, welcome to the Somnia Developer Education series. Today we are going to be taking a look at how to verify smart contracts on Somnia. Let's dive right in. To verify smart contracts on Somnia using Hardhat, we are going to start by first deploying a simple smart contract on Somnia, and then using the Hardhat verify tool verify the smart contract from our terminal on the Somnia network. To begin, we are going to create a new project directory and then install Hardhat. We'll start by creating a new directory where we'll set up our project dependencies for building using Hardhat. So I'm going to open up the terminal, create a new project directory. We'll call this Somnia Hardhat deploy. After creating that directory, we would change into it Somnia Hardhat deploy. Now we are inside our directory. We want to set up an npm project that would enable us install dependencies by running npm init-y. We are ready to install Hardhat, and we do that by running the command npm hardhat init. This will take us through a couple of prompts to set up the Hardhat project. So with Hardhat setup, would answer a couple of these questions, and then we'll go ahead and set up a TypeScript project and use the root of the directory that we created. Of course, we want to add a gitignore file, and of course, we want to add Hardhat toolbox that would make Hardhat verify tool available to us. Next, we'll add our projects to the VS Code by Somnia Hardhat deploy. So we have a default lock.so smart contract that comes with the Hardhat installation, but instead of using log.so, we are going to change this to a very simple greater contract. I have replaced the default log.so smart contract with a greater smart contract. Next, we are going to compile the smart contract. To compile the smart contract, we run the Hardhat command npx hardhat compile. This will compile the smart contract into machine readable bytecode that would help us deploy the smart contract to the blockchain and also generate an API for us. So to deploy the smart contracts, we will update the ignition modules. I'm going to replace all of this content with text to deploy the smart contract. Save that, and then after updating the ignition module, the next thing we want to update is the hardhat.config file by updating the network information where we want to deploy the smart contract, or update the network details by pasting it in here. And then remember that you have to pass your private key here. The network information is updated, and I have added a private key from a wallet that contains some STT that I want to use to deploy the smart contract. So to deploy the smart contract, I'm going to run the command npm hardhat ignition deploy the log.ts file to the network Somnia. This command will deploy the smart contract to the Somnia network, and it has deployed the smart contract to the Somnia network, and there is the smart contract address. So the next step is to verify the smart contract on Somnia. Before we do that, I will copy the smart contract address and then view it on the Somnia Shannon Explorer. Paste the address into the Explorer, view the address of the deployed contract. So you can see that this is a contract that we just deployed a minute ago, but we are unable to see the contract information such that the API, we can only see the bytecode here. To verify and publish, we would do this via Hardhat. To verify smart contracts, we will use the Hardhat verify tool. The Hardhat verify tool is already added to the Hardhat toolbox dependencies that was installed when we set up Hardhat project. So to do this, we would first of all have to update our Hardhat config file by adding some extra information such as an API key that would obtain from Etherscan, and then set up our Sourcify before we would come and then run this command. This command simply sets the network name. In this instance, it will be Somnia, and it takes that from the argument that we set up in the Hardhat config file for Somnia, and takes the deployed contract address, and if there are any arguments, it passes those arguments to this command, and that will deploy our smart contract. So let's go back to our project and update our hardhat.config file. This is the hardhat.config file. We have added the parameters for Sourcify Etherscan, and then for Sourcify we do not have it enabled, it is set to false. For Etherscan, we want to pass in an API key which we'll get from the Shannon Explorer, and we want to set up a custom chain. In this instance, the network name, the chain ID, and we pass in the URLs, the API URL and the Explorer URL. So now that that is set up, we can go back to verify our smart contract. Just like we saw in the Hardhat documentation, to verify the smart contract, run the command npx hardhat verify, pass in the network information, copy and paste the smart contract address that I want to verify, and then pass any constructor arguments in, if any. In this instance we do have one, right? So send that command, and as you can see, our smart contract has been successfully verified. Smart contracts have been successfully verified. So to confirm that it has actually been verified, we are going to go to the Explorer, refresh the page, you can see that the contract has been verified, and it now has the contract source code, and also you can read and write from the contract, right? You can perform read operations and you can perform write operations. This is how to verify a smart contract on Somnia using Hardhat. And with that, we have come to the end of today's lesson. Thank you for watching to the very end. Kindly remember to like this video and share, and also if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments on here, or come to Discord and ask those questions in the Discord. I'm always available in the dev channels to answer. See you in the next one. Bye for now.